Hi, welcome to a new tarot card reading. This reading is going to be for the week of Monday, the 9th of March to Sunday, the 15th of March, 2026. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is The Stars Tarot, and together we're going to have a look at what this upcoming week is going to be about energy-wise. What can we expect? So let's first pull a card for Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to have this one. Then for Wednesday, Thursday, and that's this one. And then let's pull a card for Friday and the weekend. All right. So let's see what we got here. First, we start the week off with the Queen of Air. And the Queen of Air is actually, well, I think it's a lovely card to start the week off because the Queen of Air, or the Queen of Swords in the traditional tarot, is an energy of quick thinking, being extremely rational, being able to cut through the bullshit, being very objective. So if you have to make a decision at the beginning of the week, then the Queen of Air is really a great energy to work with. And it says here at the bottom, it says objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in the situation. So the Queen of Air is really the embodiment of being able to see through reasoning and logic what's really going on. So it says here above, it's someone who's independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. So you can work with your mind really well. And like I said, if that's something that you are going to need at the beginning of next week, then this is really the perfect energy surrounding it, because you will be able to really rely on your own logic and your own experience of seeing how things truly are, that will really help you in making a potential decision. And I also like the aspect that there's like seeing humor in a situation. So it kind of signals that there's not going to be any feelings of regret, or any feelings of, you having lost anything, if that's going to be potentially part of making a decision. No, you can actually see it for what it is, and you can be realistic about it, and can also kind of go like, okay, well, I guess this was just not meant to be at this time or at this moment. But you can see kind of through every layer of emotional turmoil. You can really cut through that. So a very independent and strong energy. The Queen of Air can also embody or represent people who are journalists, writers. So if you are currently writing and you feel a bit stuck, then the beginning of next week is going to be a much better space for you to restart the process again. So also really great in terms of if you need to plan something, if you have upcoming holidays, for example, and you're not really sure what to choose, then the beginning of next week could be a really good time to kind of like sit down, have a list, and kind of go through everything and see what you get left with. Because you probably have to cut away some of the alternatives to come to one clear decision. So really strong, nice mental energy in terms of being able to logically approach everything with that air of reasoning, and being able to cut through any type of illusion. So great energy. Then the middle of the week. Okay, that's the Ten of Fire, which is the Ten of Wands in the traditional tarot. And it says too much work, accept help from others, life is out of balance, stress-related health concerns. Okay, so the Ten of Fire is really a card of feeling overwhelmed with everything. It often, to me, this card really relates actually to work. So it can really feel at the middle of the week that even though you were making decisions at the beginning of the week, and perhaps that's actually pertaining this card, maybe you're cutting away stuff to make you feel less overwhelmed. So maybe that's part of the narrative here. And it might also mean that you are going to need to delegate some of the task or some things to other people so that you can feel a little bit lighter. But there's really this sense of you just have too much on your plate and you need to find a way to move around that. So that can be through delegation, asking other people to step in and maybe help you out with one or two things, or by applying that energy of the Queen of Air and really make sure that you have your priorities straight so that you can feel less overwhelmed. And of course, it says these stress related health concerns. And, obviously, when we have too much on our plate and we are thinking about way too many things and we're juggling a lot, stress can obviously affect our body. So, another important piece of advice would be here to ground yourself. Make sure that you're not too much in your head and try to really be in your body again. So if you do meditation or you like, taking walks, even if it's a short walk, then that might also really help to get things into perspective again. But I think you will manage to get things back into perspective because of this Queen of Air energy. She's really good at that. She's really good at seeing things for what it is, like getting the reality back into the present moment. And like I said, that might be part of making priorities so you feel like you can handle things better. So let's see, at the end of the week, okay, still a bit of a challenging energy here. The Five of Air or the Five of Swords. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. Okay, so there might be a bit of a challenging energy. And I can see the narrative coming in here now, actually, because the Queen of Swords, the Five of Swords, and then the Ten of Fire. So I guess next week there may be a potential of you dealing with someone or a situation where you feel like you constantly have to be on edge, like you constantly have to fight something to make someone understand your perspective or to make someone see what it is that you actually mean and what your intentions are. And this is someone of whom you are questioning what their motives are. So be careful. If this is someone that's already, or a situation where you already go like, oh yes, I recognize this, then try to really rely on the capabilities of this queen. So be objective, stay rational. Do not go into too much of a emotional reaction. Like really try to stay on top of what it is that you are really thinking about this and communicate that very clearly, because air or swords elements are always about communication as well. So there's a need to be really strong in your communication and really draw a healthy line or boundary, because maybe someone is trying to put like things onto you, is kind of like delegating the wrong direction, and you need to step up and say like, I would love to help, but I just can't. I have too many things on my own plate to deal with, so I cannot take more from you. So maybe that's kind of a situation that is sort of evolving, and that is accumulating at the end of next week. So if that's the case, whether it's a person or a situation, rely on this Queen of Air. Um, Stay really independent and in charge of your own responsibilities. Be objective, clear everything that you do not need, and you certainly do not need to take anyone else's stuff on your side as well. So really be objective and communicate this to either a person or in the situation where you might feel overwhelmed and you might feel that some other people are not taking their responsibility. So a little bit of a challenging week, but I think there's some solid advice here. And try, like, because again, seeing the humor in the situation, so try not to take this card too heavy. Just see it for what it is. Just see it that someone is not dealing with their own responsibilities well enough and they're trying to sort of like give it away. And then you stay on top by being this queen. Um, yeah, I think that's the advice that's being given here. So stay strong, stay clear, stay assertive. Be assertive without being melodramatic. That's really what I'm sensing here. stay grounded and really say like, okay, this is my line, this is what I can do, and not more. Okay, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you for a next reading. Bye for now.